यो नित्यं अच्युत पदाम्बुज युग्म रुग्म व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। माता पिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्धना। भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसार कुलशेखर योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणु परकाल यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं पुनयाति परां गतिं। वेदवेते परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना। अंजनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशम् अक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्का भयङ्करं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। आञ्जनेयमदिपाठलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमनीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमान नन्दनं। यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम्। Namaskaram to all the Astikas who have gathered here in person, and being weekdays, a big group of Astikas have also been listening online. Namaskarams to them as well. Today being day 4, the title that has been given to me in the series of Srimad Ramayana Navaham is Paduka Pattabhishekam. Some scholars have opined that more than Sri Rama Pattabhishekam, Paduka Pattabhishekam is more important. We will see what is the significance of Paduka Pattabhishekam towards the end of the discourse. In Srimad Ramayanam, in Ayodhya Kandam, Bharata is a very, very important character. The name Bharata has been associated with 4 great people in Sanatana Dharma. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we will be coming across a great yogi called as Jada Bharata. Jada Bharata had his own births and many rebirths. He is a befitting example for the Tat Kratu Nyayam. Besides, Jada Bharata also becomes the teacher for a king called as Rahuguna Maharaja. This is one Bharata. The second Bharata comes in Srimad Ramayanam as the younger brother to Rama. His name is also Bharata. The third Bharata is the son born to Dushyanth Maharaja through Shakuntala. He was known as one of the greatest administrators. And fourth is the Bharata who is referred to as a Muni, Bharata Muni, who is the pioneer for Natya Shastram. Hence, Natya Shastram, which has been professed and has been propagated by Bharata Muni, is famously called as Bharata Natya Shastram. So Bharata is also regarded as an abbreviation for 3 terms: Bhava, Raga, Tala. Bhava, Bha, Raga, Ra, Tala, Ta. Bharata is the other interpretation given for this nama. In whichever case, the name Bharata is given to a person who is very important in Sanatana Dharma. Now in Sri Ayodhya Kandam, till about yesterday, though I did mention of a certain verse, Gacchata Matulakulam Bharatena Tatha Anagaha Shatrughnaha Nitya Shatrughnaha Nita Preeti Puraskritaha, we did not deal with Bharata as a character in detail. We will be dealing with Bharata, Bharata Bhakti and later Paduka Pattabhishekam today. Rama, when Lakshmana reprimands his father, abuses Kaikeyi, Rama stops and advises Lakshmana. Aham hite Lakshmana nityameva janami bhaktim cha parakramam cha mamattvabhipraya manam nirikshya matra sahabhya dasima sudukham. Hey Lakshmana, whatever you say, know that if my father tells me something, that is my ultimate command. Tandai cholmikka mandiram illai tells a great proverb in the Tamil language. What does that mandiram mean? In those people who undergo Upanayanam ceremony, the father is the one who teaches the son the ultimate mantram called as Gayatri mantra. So Gayatri is regarded as the best amongst the meters. Gayatrim Chandasam Mata. So this Gayatri mantra is taught by the father to the son. So Tandai Shol Mikka Mandiram Illai. So there is no other greater mantram than Gayatri. Here Dasharatha must have taught Gayatri to son Rama. No wonder the biography of Rama has Gayatri mantram in it, which is called Gayatri Ramayanam. As soon as Rama tells Lakshmana that I shall be following whatever my father has asked me to do. At this juncture, some of you whose mother tongue may not be one of the South Indian languages, may not be Tamil, may not be Kannada, Malayalam or Telugu. Is there somebody like that here? Whose mother tongue is not one of the four languages? All of you. Okay. So what do you speak, ma'am? What's your mother tongue? Rajasthani. So, if you do not belong to one of the South Indian languages, you may be wondering as to why do Pravachana Kartas predominantly from the south of India, instead of referring to the Patram as Ram, why are they calling him Rama? Why not Krishna? And why is Krishna? Because we need to respect the nuances of each and every language. Let's say Sanskritam as the language. Most of our names predominantly will be names from Sanskritam as a language. So the name Ram or Lakshman has its roots in Sanskritam. In Sanskritam, you will have to complete the word by giving the sound of the last letter. If it's Rama, then that A sound should come. Ma plus A is Ma. So you cannot take that in, because when Sanskritam becomes Prakritam and Prakritam along with Avadhi, Brajbhasha and then Hindi is formed, Hindi as a language doesn't encourage the pronunciation of the last aksharam. So it becomes Ram. Ram Lakshman Janaki. So there it is fine, though it is in Avadhi, not in Hindi particularly. But in Sanskritam you will have to give that akaram to the last aksharam, whatever be that name. If it is Uma, then you cannot make it It has to be A only there. Uma, Rama, Saumya. But the problem comes with Pullinga Vachaka Shabdam. So it is Ramaha. But you don't give that aha sound to every name, so you call him Rama. But at the same time, to prove that we are genuine South Indians, we should not unnecessarily add an extra Rama. Then it is wrong. Then it becomes Trilinga Vachaka Shabdam. Ramesh, in Kannada, often it is said. In colloquial Kannada, we add that Ramesha, Baro. So that sound shouldn't come there. In Sanskritam, in Kannada it is okay. So it is neither Ram nor Rama. It is Rama. That sound should be heard. Well, here Lakshmana tells Rama, now that you have decided to abide by what our father has said, I shall duly follow you to the forest. Rama says, see, why do you have to bear the brunt of something that you are not subjected to? Lakshmana says, like how the sea cannot go beyond the certain area called as a coast. I am the coast to you. You cannot cross me. You will have to take me along. So he says, Rajyaschyattavaraksheyam aham veleva sagaram pratijanamite veera ma bhuvam veera lokabhag. Rama tries advising Lakshmana, but then he realizes this Lakshmana is incorrigible, irreparable, irreplaceable. Okay, you can follow me to the forest. At that point in time, Rama, after having understood that Lakshmana has planned to come along with him, tells his mother Kaushalya, Mother, you should be relieved that my dear brother has promised that he will come with me, along with me to the forest. Kaushalya, she is unable to accept this very scenario, but she says, how much ever I speak or how much ever I debate, nothing is going to happen. Let me accept the situation the way it is. Rama, I am going to tie you 2 rings made of 2 herbs, Santana Karani and Vishalya Karani. These herbs, when used in your ring, and that ring is being sported by you in the forest, your body will not have any allergic reaction to the touch of poisonous leaves. See, I don't know, some of you may be able to relate to it. A lot of the students who wish to pursue their higher education in the US, when they fly down from India, there is a list of vaccines that they have to undergo. Only after getting that certificate, they will be able to apply. Similarly, Rama is going to a distant land, the forest. So the mother puts in certain precautions so that her son is taken care of. Then she tells, like how Trivikrama set out on a sojourn to win over this world. He came as Vamana, he grew in size and measured the world. So should your sojourn be. You should go to the forest, win over the people in the forest. Give them the hope that you are there and then come back. Trivikraman prakramato Vishnur atula tejasaha yadasin mangalam Rama tatte bhavatu mangalam. And you may be wondering, why isn't he saying Mangalam? Why is it Mangalam? Because in Prachina Bhasha Sanskritam, in the earlier form of Sanskritam, we didn't have the letter La. Malayalathil ulla La. That La is not there in Sanskritam. Later it was imported. Because the other local languages, regional languages started using, we imported that La. But traditionally there is no La in Sanskritam. It's Mangalam. Mangala Shasanam. It's not Mangala. Later now we call it Mangala Shasanam. It is Mangala. So, Bhavatu Mangalam. Beautifully, if you get deep into Srimad Ramayanam, Kaushalya, while blessing her son before he sets on his journey to the forest, she tells, I bless you with the same verses what Vinata blessed her son Garuda. There is a verse in Ayodhya Kandam. Like how Vinata blessed her son Garuda, I am reciting those 2 verses and blessing you. She says, Valmiki records it. But he doesn't record those 2 verses. Now how do we find that out? For that, we will have to go to Mahabharatam's Adi Parva. If you go to the first of the 18 chapters of Sri Mahabharatam in Adi Parva, there is something called Garuda Upakhyanam. Vyasa, before setting forth and detailing and elucidating the entire Mahabharatam, gives a mini Mahabharatam. In Mahabharatam, Kauravas, remember who are the Kauravas? Who are the Kauravas? Who are the Kauravas? The sons of Dhritarashtra. You don't know this also. Sorry, you have come here to give lecture. Remember, Pandavas are also Kauravas. People who come in the lineage of the king Kuru were called Kauravas. So both the sons of Dhritarashtra and Pandu were Kauravas. So if Pandu's sons are called Pandavas, Dhritarashtra's sons are called Dhartarashtras. Well, in Sri Mahabharatam, Kauravas, now here Dhartarashtras, wanted to make Pandavas their slaves. At the end of the game of Dyuta Krida, they made the 5 Pandavas their slaves. That too, it was not a righteous battle. They used Shakuni, who was adept in changing the numbers and the dice and then play. So it was not a fair play. There, the symbol of the Kauravas, Duryodhana, on his flag post was a snake. The only way to rescue the Pandavas from the clutches of these snakes was to give them Gita Amritam, the elixir, the ambrosia called Bhagavad Gita. What is mini Mahabharatam? The sons of Kadru, the snakes, made Kadru's co-wife or sister called as Vinata her slave. To rescue his mother Vinata from slavery and from the clutches of Kadru, Vinata's son Garuda goes on a mission to Amaravati to bring ambrosia called Amritam. There, Pandavas were to be made slaves by Kauravas. Here, Vinata was to be made a slave by Kadru. Their snake is the symbol of Duryodhana. Here, snakes were the sons of Kadru. There, the only way to rescue was through Gita Amritam. Here, the only way to rescue was Amritam. So, Vyasa gives a mini Mahabharatam before the larger Mahabharatam. In Adi Parva, before setting on his mission to bring ambrosia, which is nectar, Amritam from Amaravati Patnam, she recites those 2 verses. Vinata recites those 2 verses. Pakshaute marutav patu chandrasuryaucha prishtataha shirascha patu vanhiste. She gives a kavacham. May all these devatas protect you, my dear son Garuda. She recites 2 verses. This is there in Mahabharatam. Now this is being invoked by Valmiki through Kaushalya in Ramayana. She tells, I recite those 2 verses what Vinata recited, but she doesn't tell what 2 verses are. Later we come to know. So look at the way Valmiki and Vyasa have collaborated so beautifully. If the snitch recognizes the flesh memory in the last book, it is found in the first book. We give a Bharat Ratna to Rowling, then what award can we give to Vyasa and Valmiki here? They connect 2 great epics of the world. Well, as she blessed Rama now goes to Sita's Antahpuram, Shuddhatma. Shrumu Janaki yenedam kramenadyagatam mama Site tatra bhavam stataha prabrajayati mam vanam. I need to go to the forest, Sita. I have been asked by my father to go to the forest. See, when I go to the forest, you should not offend anyone. Have a cordial relationship with all the inmates of the house. By the end of 14 years, I will be back. Aham gamishyami mahavanam priye tvaya hivastavyamihaiva bhamini yathavyadikam kurushena kasyachit tatha tvaya karyamidam vacho mama. Remember Sita, when I go to the forest and Bharata comes from his maternal uncle's house, do not offend him. Do not treat him as a pariah who thinks that it is he who is the cause of me going on to the forest for an exile. Vipriyam chana kartavyam bharatasya kadachana sahi raja cha vaidehi deshasya cha kulasya cha. Sita tells, Rama, do you think I just came on a leisure trip to Ayodhya? I was married to you. What will I do in an Ayodhya where you are not there, not for a day or a week or a month? You are not there for 14 years. What will I do here? Na pita natmajo vatma na mata na sakhi janah iha pretya chanarinam patireko gatis sada. She tells, I wish I join you on your exile to the forest. Rama tells, see, the path in the forest is full of poisonous creepers and thorns. Lata kantaka sankirnaha krikava kupanaditaha nirapascha sudukhascha marga dukkhamatovanam. You have a valid point, Rama. See, that is. You have a valid point. Yes, the path in the forest is infested with thorns and poisonous creepers. Do not worry. I shall come with you, walk in front of you, take away those thorns and make the path thorn free for you. Is that okay for you? Yaditvam prasthito durgam vanamadhyaiva raghava agrataste gamishyami mridganti kushakantakan. Sita, there will be wild beasts. You may look like a piece of meat to those beasts. They will come and eat you. Sita tells, Aham Durgam Gamishyami. I will go to the forest. She tells, I will go to the forest. What is the word? Aham Durgam Gamishyami. Durga. She tells, I will come to Durga. What is Durga? Durga andre yeno? Hedi. ಕನ್ನಡದವರು ಇದಾರಲ್ವಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿ, ದುರ್ಗಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ದುರ್ಗಾ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಫೋರ್ಟ್. ಫೋರ್ಟೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದುರ್ಗಾ. ಯಾಕೆ ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೆ? ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗ ಇದೆ. ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗ, that fortress which is very beautiful. Durga means fortress. Mahalakshmi is called Navadurga, a modern fortress, because if we go in front of the Lord, it seems the Lord could perish us with his furious eyes looking at our papam, but she stands as a fortress between us and the Lord and protects us. Navadurga Mahakalim Brahma Vishnu Shivatmikam. So here the forests are referred to as Durgam, because if a kingdom has forests, thick forests, that itself becomes a deterrent to the enemies, because they wouldn't know how to reach the kingdom. Aham Durgam Gamishyami. I shall come to the forest, Rama. You are talking about the wild beasts. Don't be worried. I am not worried, because I am going to be with you. Rama says, see, I don't know on what diet you are. You may not get what you want there. If your dietitian has said you have to take this keto diet, quinoa and all of that, where will I go for all that? You will get only phalam, moolam, tubers and roots and fruits. Sita tells, now my dietitian has given a recent diet which includes only fruits. I will come along with you. Phalamula shana nityam bhavishyami na samshayah nate dukkham karishyami nivasanti tvaya sada. Rama, you should know, while I was 6 years of age, there was a person who made a prophecy. He predicted, looking at my jatakam, adhapicha mahaprajnya brahmanana maya shrutam pura pitrgrihe satyam vastavyam kilamevane. They said your daughter will live in the forest for years together. This was a prediction made by an astrologer, Rama, to get this information confirmed. My mother even got this verified and ratified by a fortune teller. Kanyaya cha piturgehe vanavasa shruto maya bhikshinya shamavrittaya mama maturiha grataha. Rama, often my mother used to say, whoever is your husband in this janma will be the husband in 7 janmas. The moment I told this in one lecture, half the people got away. See, there is a Shruti Vakyam that whoever is your better half in this Janmam will continue for 7 more Janmas. Many people are upset with this Shruti Vakyam. They want to get rid of that person in this Janma. Ihaloke chapiti bhirya striya yasya mahabala adbhir datta swadharmena pretya bhavepi tasya sa. Rama, you are often telling me that Sita, this is heaven to you. Ayodhya is heaven. But you got the definition of heaven wrong. Wherever you are, that is heaven to me. So I will join you to the forest. Rama said, see, the forest is very, very secure. You don't have to worry about my well-being. I will take care of myself. You stay in Ayodhya. Sita thought, it is high time I make my choice very clear. I have been trying to be very, very diplomatic with this man. He doesn't seem to hear. Kim tva manyata vaideha pita me mithilaadipaha ramajamataram prapya striyam purusha vigraham. Kim tvam, what do you think of yourself? See, this verse in Valmiki Ramayanam has been commented so beautifully upon by a commentator called Krishna Mishra, who's Periyavachan Pillai, 950 years back, for pages together. I'm just giving you a saramsham of what he says. Kim tvam, what do you think of yourself? This is what Sita implies, it seems. Kim tvam, are you telling the world that you're a valorous person by lifting a bow and breaking just before my marriage? Remember, the bow that you broke was a broken one. You did not break a proper bow. So do not take pride in showcasing your valor to the world. Kim tvam, ulutta villai murittu lokattai oomattangai thirattin ummai. Ulutta villai, a broken bow you broke. Kim tvam anyataha, you keep taking pride in telling that I am the student of Vasishtha. Does Vasishtha abandon his wife Arundhati? Only if you practice what your Acharya does can you preach. Kim tvam anyataha Vaideha. When my father got me married to you, he was of the opinion that he is going to get a son-in-law who's as truthful, just, honest, sincere, simple, magnanimous and generous as him. This was his thought. Generally, he was of the opinion that he never makes wrong decisions, but today he must be realizing that he has made one. Kim tvam anyata vaideha. Rama, you should know that my father, when the entire Lanka was burning, Mithila was burning, he said, Pradiptayam Mithilayam name kinchit pradakhyate. Burning is the city of Mithila. Nothing in the city that burns is a possession that I own. But when he gave me in marriage to you, he said, I own nothing except my daughter. She's so precious to me. But you are not able to keep a prized possession of my father intact. Kim tvam anyata vaideha. My father could take care of the entire Mithila, Mithilaadipaha. But look at his son-in-law who's not able to take care of his own wife. Where is my father and where are you? Kim tvam anyata vaideha pita me mithilaadipaha. I now realize, Rama jamataram prapya, by obtaining you as the son-in-law, jamata, you have exemplified the saying jamata dashamograha. It is said that till their beloved daughter gets married, the parents would desire a great son-in-law and would be going around, pradakshinam, around the Navagrahas, thinking that whatever be the evil effects caused by these 9 grahas should be warded off by them doing pradakshinam, without realizing that the one who comes to the house as the son-in-law is the 10th graha. Jamata dashamo graha. Rama jamataram prapya Well, I thought, or he must have also thought, that he is getting me married to a man, but then he must have realized that you are also a man, just the man in the disguise, but a woman. Striyam Purusha Vigraham. Rama said, you come with me. Dharmastu Gajana Soru Sadhira Charitav Pura Tamcha Hamanuvartishye Yatha Suryam Suvarchala. Like how Suvarchala follows Surya Deva, you too come with me. He could have avoided all this. Nevertheless, after convincing Sita, failing to convince Sita, Sita then tells, okay, let us go. Now they get out of the Shuddhatma, the Antahpuram. They are unable to exit the Shuddhatma because their feet was tightly held by someone. They looked down, it was Lakshmana. Sabhra Dushcharanam Gadham Nipidya Raghunandanaha Sitam Uvacha Atishayam Raghavam Cha Mahavratam. Sabhratus charanau gadham nipidya raghunandanaha. Because Lakshmana earlier said, I will come with you, Rama agreed. Now he was of the opinion, now if Sita has also been agreed upon by Rama, then he may say, Sita is coming, Lakshmana, you stay with Urmila, what will I do? So I will do Sharanagati at the feet of Mahalakshmi and Narayana. Chitraratnamaya Seshatalpamandu Sitapati Niyuchi Juchi Mitri Bhagyame Bhagyamu Saumitri Bhagyame. Telugu bhashalo Bantu ante Rajadarbharaniki unnata watchman. Royal guard is called Bantu. Tyagaraja echoes the thoughts of Lakshmana. Banturiti koluvu viyavaiya Rama. Banturiti koluvu viyavaiya Rama. Banturiti koluvu. Banturiti koluvu. I should be in the position of a royal guard. Rama asks, what qualifications do you have, Lakshmana, that you can say that you will be my royal guard? Romachamane ghana kanchukamu. When someone sings praises about you, Rama, I get goosebumps, I get horripilation. Romachamane ghana kanchukamu. What is the second attribute that you have, Lakshmana? I have a tattoo which says Rama Bhakta, Rama Bhaktudane Mudra Villayu. What is the third attribute that you have? When somebody comes as my enemy, I fight them only with using your name as the weapon. Ramanama Mane Varakadgami Veera Ramanama Mane Varakadgami Veera Jillu Naiya Tyagaraju Nike Banturiti Koluvu Viyavaiya Rama. So I have all these attributes. Sita tells, okay, this is a conversation that you are having with your brother, but what is the benefit I will have by taking you along? Mata, do you know to sweep, mop, cook, cut, wash the clothes, folding? No. Aham sarvam karishyami. I will do all this for you. Come along. Imagine somebody tells, wouldn't we also not mind? Sir, I will do everything for you. Aham sarvam karishyami jagrataha swapataschate. I will do everything for you. Sita said, if you leave this Lakshmana and come, you see, bring him along. Bhavamstu saha vaidehya girisa anushuram syase aham sarvam karishyami jagrataha swapataschate. Hey brata, Hey Rama, along with Sita, you both should look at the mountains and it should be like a resort stay for you. By the time you turn, and when there are showers, I will make some nice pakoda and bring. You can enjoy looking at the mountains, you can have. Trust me, Vanavasam was not a curse to Rama. For 13 years, they had the best of their times. Last 1 year was a big tragedy. She was kidnapped to the foreign country, then Hanuman had to go. All this happened in that last 1 year. 13 years they lived very happily. Valmiki says, Jagrataha swapataschade. Now, before leaving to the forest, there was a duty that Rama had to do. He had to give away whatever wealth he had to the poor and the needy. So he had many cows under his guardianship. So he brought all those cows from the cow shed and brought one person called Trijata. This Trijata is different from Trijata in Sundarakandam. She is a Sri Lankan national. He is an Indian national. She, he, differences. So this Trijata came and Rama said, see, you can take as many cows as you want. He should have taken 3 or 4. He said, Rama, you should tell me one number. No. You are having one stick. You throw that stick. Wherever that stick falls, till that how many ever cows are standing, you can take. He folded his dhoti well first. See, generally after a big utsavam, when we are accorded that special hospitality with a banana leaf and a proper food, sumptuous, delicious, lavish food, it is called Tadiya Radhanam. When we sit, first thing what we will do is we loosen our dhoti. There will be one knot here. If it is manya or dhoti, no problem. But otherwise we will loosen it up here. Then we will start consuming. Likewise this person tied. So that he could throw the stick at a distance and he'll get as many cows. Sita started laughing. See, Ramayanam has Navarasam. Hasyam is one rasam. Sita started laughing. She looked at Rama and said, why is this man doing? He is planning to throw the stick elsewhere. Does he have place in his house to keep so many cows? Did he even plan for that? So this incident, Gavam sahasramapyekam nacha vishranitam maya parikshipasi dandena yavattadvapsya veyase. Sumantra, understanding the situation, comes to the Shuddhatma of Kaikeyi and Dasharatha and tells, Kaikeyi, you have to relook at your decision. This is not right, Kaikeyi. Dasharatha tells, even Sumantra is telling, I fall at your feet, Kaikeyi. Please take back your decision. Even now it is not late. Let Bharata rule the country. Let Rama stay back. She was refusing to budge. That time, Sumantra tells, Pitrine samanujayante nara matara manganaha. It is often said that daughters are like their mothers and sons are like their fathers. This is very true in your case, Kaikeyi, because you are just like your mother. Why should he bring the mother into the conversation? Because Kaikeyi's father Ashwapati Maharaja had one boon bestowed upon him by a great sage, that he will be able to listen to the conversation that animals and insects have. We don't, thank God we are not bestowed with that boon. What will animals be talking about us? Look, here comes the man. He says save environment. He says save water. He does all charitable activities, but he himself will be a part of destroying nature. Right? So animals will have a very different opinion of us. We may be rash driving and we may kill 2-3 people. And then we will teach how to be a good human being. So animals will have a different conversation. Thank God, no Rishi has given us that boon. So this king, Ashwapati Maharaja, was a great king. Because he was a yogi, he had that power to understand what animals were talking. But along with that boon, there was one small addendum that if he were to tell what he has heard to another person, he will die that very moment. Everybody knew of it, they wouldn't ask such questions. So one night while they were about to sleep, he laughed. Immediately Kaikeyi's mother asked her husband, why are you laughing? No, two ants were speaking. Very, very great comedy it was, so I laughed. You tell me please, what did they speak? You know, my dear wife, if I tell that I will die. It's okay, you tell and die. It seems she told that. Shashamsame jiva vamam vanamam tvam prahasishyasi. You tell and die. So you are also like that, Kaikeyi. Your husband is telling that if I get separated from Rama and die, you said let him get separated, it's okay if you're dying. You are just like your mother. Then, after having said this, Rama tells Dasharatha. Rama comes back. Now he comes back with Sita and Lakshmana to the Shuddhatma of Dasharatha. Lakshmana is looking with fiery eyes at Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi is not bothered. In a few minutes he would have gone. Aprichetva Maharaja Sarvesham Ishwarosinaha Prasthitam Dandakaranyam Pashyatvam Kushalena Mam. I seek your blessings, my dear father. By the time Rama could turn towards Kaikeyi, Kaikeyi brings a beautiful plate with a hermit dress. And she tells Rama, I have personally supervised in getting this dress stitched. I want to see you in this dress. Please take off those jewelry, all that is not required. See, there are many robbers in the forest, dacoits. You should take all this jewelry. Take them off. That one, yeah, take that also. You take this and go. And she immediately handed over one to Sita. And by the time she could take the plate of Lakshmana, Lakshmana comes and says, he took it. And now, as Sita was finding it very tough because it is made of bark of the trees, it is very rough. She is used to all flannel, linen and all of that. Nothing was standing on her hip. So looking at her struggling to wear this new hermit dress, the other queens, the other wives of Dasharatha start weeping. Katham nuchiram badhananti munayo vanavasinaha Itihya kushala Sita samumoha muhurmuhu. Then Rama comes running. Don't worry, Sita, I will help you. She asked, how do you know? See, we all did Gurukula Vasam under Vasishtha. So we are used to all of this. I will help you. That is when Dasharatha opens his mouth again. He tells, because Rama happens to be my son by fate, he has to bear the brunt of this wretched lady called as Kaikeyi. Why should my daughter-in-law bear the brunt? All through her forest, she must wear silk saris and jewelry. He commands. Here goes the shlokam. Vanavasam hi sankhyaya vasamsya bharanani cha Bhartaram anugachantyai Sitayai Shvashurodadau Lakshmana. For your sister-in-law, ensure that you carry as many saris will be required for the 14 years along with matching jewelry. From this, what do we understand? In the 14 years time period, Sita did not wear that saffron colored dress, one rudraksh, one lotus beads, nothing she wore. She wore a proper silk with a big border, mountain above it, with buttas on it, and matching terracotta jewelry. All that she wore. How do you know, sir? You are telling, I am quoting Ramayana for you. Now, how will you prove this? Very good point. While she is being kidnapped, abducted by Ravana, it is clearly said she wore a silk sari with a hamsam border. Correct? So she wore jewelry and she wore silk cloths. Now you may wonder, what is the point you are trying to prove? That is also important while you are taking Ramayanam to the visual medium. In all our serials, Arun Govil's wife, N.T. Ramarav's wife, Pandri Boy, Anjali Devi, everybody will be wearing one fade India clothes. But She was wearing silk clothes. So all this is important. For that we have to read the original. We read abridged versions, abridged versions, abridged version. So all this gets lost. Now, Lakshmana also sees his mother Sumitra. He goes, tells Mata, I am leaving. Sumitra tells, don't act as if you are an obedient, sincere son. By now you should have left Ayodhya along with Rama. Why are you coming and asking my permission? See, on one side there is one lady who, without her son, in her son's absence, she is asking for the kingdom. Here is another mother who tells you should have left the kingdom by now. Two extremes. Sumitra tells, just because you have come out of courtesy, I have to give you one advice. I will give you one advice. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi Gacchata Yatha Sukham Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. From now on, if somebody asks, who are you? I am D. Lakshman. No, you are R. Lakshman. Your father is not Dasharatha, your father is Rama. If somebody asks, who is your mother? Don't proudly say, Sumitra is my mother. Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam. Janaka's daughter is your mother. If somebody asks, sir, what is this address? Where are you currently? Don't say I am in 79 longitude, Madhya Pradesh. No, wherever you stand, wherever Rama is, that is Ayodhya. This is not Ayodhya. Wherever Rama is, Ayodhya Atavim Vidhi. Gaccha Tata Yatha Sukham. For this shloka as well, there is exquisite commentary. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. Treat your eldest brother as your father. Jeshto Bhrata Pitru Samaha. You know, in the Tamil tradition, earlier there used to be a unique tradition. The father used to be called Anna. Anna Shulvar, you may be wondering, that person is mentioning about his brother. No, his father is referred to as Anna. And Anna should be treated like a father. Jeshto Bhrata Pitru Samaha. So from now on, Rama, your eldest brother, is your father. Madani, you know, in large joint families in those days, the first son would be married so early that the last child in that lineage will know that the eldest sister-in-law is actually the mother. Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam. Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi. What does this mean? Dasha in Sanskritam means Garuda. Dasha, one meaning is 10. Dasharatha. Dasha means Garuda in Sanskritam. Ratha means Vahanam. Dasharatha means one who has Garuda as the Vahana. Who's Narayana? Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. Treat Rama as Narayana himself. Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam. Janaka's daughter is me, is one interpretation. Ma in Sanskritam is Mahalakshmi. Day 1, Saturday, August 6th at about 3:55, while describing about the death of one of the birds, the curse uttered was Ma Nishada Yat Pratishthantvam. For the interpretation for that shloka, Brahma says Ma is Mahalakshmi is what I said. Do you remember? Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam. Janaka's daughter is none but Mahalakshmi. Rama is no one but Narayana. Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi. Day 2. I mentioned about the names of Vaikuntham and Ayodhya to be the same. Ayodhye Aparajiteti Vidita Nakam Parena Sthita is the line I quoted of Parashara Bhatta from Rangarajastavam. So wherever Rama and Sita are, that is Ayodhya, which is Ayodhya Vaikuntham. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi, Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam, Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi, Gacchata Yatha Sukham. This is the second interpretation. Third interpretation, my dear son, like how your father seemed henpecked for some time and had to listen to what his wife Kaikeyi said. Later, your brother Rama may also have to listen to his wife in Aranyakandam because she will say, go behind the deer, just like his father. So your father and your brother are no different. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam, like how I am telling you as a mother, Lakshmana, go to the forest. When you are in the forest, Sita, whom you will be treating as your mother, will say, go. Somebody is calling for help, it must be your brother, go. She will tell in Aranyakandam, just like me. Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam. Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi. Just because you are all, both you and Rama are going to stay in the forest and you are going to annihilate the demoniac forces, even forests will become as secure as Ayodhya. Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi. Gacha Tata Yatha Sukham. Tata. Tata in Sanskritam, what does it mean? Father. Shuka Tatam Taponidhim. Shuka's father is Vyasa. Tata means father. So she's telling her son, Gacha Tata. My dear father, go. Oh, it doesn't imply that way. You have to take the context in which it is said. See, looking at your son, there are two ways you can tell. If you want them to do something and they are refusing to do first, then you request them. Appane, panni kudupa. So you look at your son and tell Appane, do you really mean that he is your father? So you are giving so much of respect which is not due to him, but you want the thing to get done. So, Gachatata Yata Sukham, because you are going to do a noble task, I am respecting you. Out of respect, I am saying, my dear father, Gachatata. Because when people do noble tasks, even if they are much younger to you, respect is to be accorded to them. How do we know? In the first Pasuram of Tirupavai, Andal tells, Margadi Tingal Marinirainda Nannadal Neerada Poduvir Podumino Nerayir. She is looking at her friends. Till then, she was telling, hey, Aja yaar, Abe yaar, ao, in Bombay, Abe, bol, Aja. This is how she was looking at her friends. The moment she sang Tirupavai, मेरे मित्रगण, आदरणीय मित्रगण, आप सभी लोग मेरे साथ आ जाइए. The friends started looking at each other. What is wrong with her? She was talking normally. She is giving respect. The commentator says, when you are on a journey out of devotion, even people younger to you have to be given respect. Gacchata dayata sukham. After telling this, she tells, Pinnum Pagarval, the Tamil poet says, Pinnum Pagarval, Magane, Ivan Pinchal, Tambiyannum Paniyandru, Adiyarin Eval Chedi, Mannum Nagarke, Avan Mandidilva, Andrel, Munnel, Mudiyanna, Palmulai, Shoran Indral. She tells her son, my dear son, it is very, very tough for me to tell you this, but I am still telling you. In your journey and in your stay in the forest, if at all there comes a situation where Rama may have to die out of forest fire or some reason, you should be the one who should be his protection. Try protecting him and you should die first, even before he dies. Will any mother tell this? First of all, will any mother send? If Rama is being asked to go to the forest, any other mother will tell Lakshmana. See, he is very busy. Urmila has given him some job. He has gone on a tour. He will get back. He wishes a safe journey to Rama. This is what any mother will say. You tell, if you are in Sumitra's position, will you send your son? Somebody has to go to the forest. It is his karma he is going. We will give all philosophical lessons then. But she is saying, you have to go. Well, after this, Kaushalya, she tries to go behind the chariot which is ferrying Rama, Lakshmana and Sita. The people in the city started crying. The Tamil poet Kamban tells who all cried. Killayodu Puvai Aluda, Kilarmadathu Ullurai Pusai Aluda, Avum Aluda, Adan Kandrum Aluda, Uruvariya Pillai Aluda Endral, Periyorai Encholla, Vallal Vanam Puguvan, Enduraitha Maattattal. He tells the cats which sit on the outside pedestals of the house, instead of going inside and drinking the milk, they started coming out and started shedding tears. The cows cried, the calves cried. Nothing surprising, but even the fetuses which had not seen Rama because they were not being given birth to, that were housed in the embryonic sacs of their mother, also cried. Uruvariya Pillai. They also cried. So, as Rama left Ayodhya along with Sita, Sumantra escorted them. Now, the people of Ayodhya, they started taking their bags and followed Rama. Rama thought, what is this now? Forest will become Ayodhya. Ayodhya will become forest. So that night, Rama, Lakshmana and Sita were stationed one place. All the Ayodhya Vasis were happy. All of us, we were waiting for when we will get a journey like this. We will go with Rama for 14 years, spend time with him and come. Next morning when they got up, they found the three of them missing. Because Rama thought, I should leave them. If I tell them, they won't understand. I should leave this place and go. Anurakta Mahatmanam Ramam Satya Parakramam Anujagmuhu Prayantam Tam Vanavasaya Manavaha. So Dasharatha, the moment he understands that Rama has left, he waits for that very moment when Sumantra will come back, because Sumantra has to drop the three of them. Sumantra comes. Dasharatha asks, What was a parting message that my son Rama said? Rama said, Sumantra informs, Shirasa Vandaniyasya Vandyau Padau Mahatmanaha. Sumantra, on my behalf you go and prostrate at the lotus feet of my father. I wanted to do Abhivadaye to my father. Dasharatha starts crying more. He didn't have any other message. Yes, he had a message to Mata Kaushalya. Kaushalya wakes up. What message did my son Rama give? Attend to my father's needs, because Kaikeyi may not be able to attend. You have to take care of my father. But at the same time, Mata Kaushalya, do not bear any grudge towards Kaikeyi. She is superior, greater. She is greater to me than you. He tells, Anurajana Maryam cha Kaikeyi Ambakaraya. Mata Kaushalya, when Bharata returns, please do not rebuke him. He is a great brother to me. Kumare Bharate Vrittir Vartivyascha Rajavat. I have one message to Bharata as well, Sumantra. Please tell Bharata to treat my mother Kaushalya at par with Kaikeyi. He should, because in my absence, Kaushalya should not feel that she is missing me. Bharata should be the drama to him. Then Dasharatha asks, did Sita give any message? Sumantra tells, Mumocha sahasabashpam prayantam upavikshasa. While she tried opening her mouth, she just had copious tears running down her cheeks. She couldn't talk. Did Lakshmana give any message? Sumantra said, yes, he did give, but I don't know how to say that. Please say it, Sumantra. Aham tavan maharajam pitrutvam no palakshaye bhrata bharta cha bandhuscha pita cha mama raghava. Tell my father that he is not my father anymore. For me, my father, my friend, my mother and father and guru is my brother Rama. Dasharatha got a peace, my true son. He has the fortune to stay with the apple of my eye, Rama, whereas I am not able to. Kaikeyi left the Anthapuram. You will give all such filmy dialogues. Dasharatha was not able to see anything. He said, I can only hear the sound of the hoofs, the horses that are running away. Rama has gone. This is all I can hear, but Kaushalya, trust me. In a few minutes from now, I will be gone. Kaushalya, why are you saying this, Swami? Kaushalya, while I was young, I was a great hunter. I went on a hunting expedition to the forest. I suddenly heard the sound of some waters in the lake close by. I thought the elephants had come to drink water. Gajaha jalam pibanti. In Dhanurveda, Kaushalya, there is one astram which can just trace the target by just listening to the audio. It's called Shabdavedi. I left that Shabdavedi thinking that I would be attacking the elephant. But when the Shabdavedi went and hit the target, all I could hear was the wailing of a little boy. I went to the banks of that particular pond, Kaushalya, but I saw a little boy, skinny, withering in pain. I went close to the boy, took him, placed his head on my lap and asked, "Who are you, my dear boy?" He said, "I am Shravana Kumara. Raja, my parents are blind. I carry them forest after forest, village after village. Today my father," he said, "Shravana Kumara, can you please fetch me some water?" Being a dutiful son, I came to the pond. Probably you thought I was an elephant. "You have hit me hard, hey Kshatriya Raja. Please take these waters because I will be dead in a few minutes now. Please take these waters to my father. Give them to my father. Let him drink. And then you may inform that I am dead." Dasharatha takes the water, goes to the king and offers this, goes to Shravana Kumara's father and offers